He's old, he's cranky, his back hurts, and he can't remember where he put his car keys. But his mother still loves him. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, ShootingClasses.com, Apple Tree Media, and Centershot Indoor Gun Range, and Trinity Training and Security for all your training and equipment needs. And now it's time for our weekly self-defense report, sponsored by ShootingClasses.com. All right, Sarah, I want you to tell us, what do we have this week on the ShootingClasses.com self-defense report? You got an incident for us?
I do. In Washington County, Wisconsin, there was a woman who fought back against a knife-wielding stranger in Richfield Park. She shares her story with WISN 12 News. "I'm just thinking in my head, like, this is how I'm going to die," Melissa Richards said. Richards said she took her dog, Remy, for a walk in Washington County Park and ended up wrestling with a stranger armed with a knife.
Now you know why I don't like dogs.
Yeah.
If she just had not had a dog, she'd have been fine.
Okay. That's one way to boil it down.
Okay, keep going.
"Where he had it, he could have gotten me anywhere. He could have stabbed me right away, and I could have been down," Richards said. Richards said she got out of her car with her dog at Richfield Nature Park. Daniel Bartlett was in his minivan, watching her. She and Remy continued on the trail for roughly half an hour. Richards said when she returned to the parking lot after taking Remy for a walk, she noticed Bartlett was still in the driver's seat of his minivan, watching her. "I was walking to my car, and then all of a sudden I heard something running behind me," Richards said, "and I did like a double take because he was still coming at me. And I look, and he's got a knife in his hand, and I'm thinking, what? He tackled me on the ground. I somehow managed to get the knife away from him. I had like a guardian angel that day or something. The only thing he said to me was just, 'Can I just go?'" She said Bartlett ran off. Police later arrested him. She ended up with 3 cuts and 15 stitches. "Well, I was just thinking, I don't want to die. This is not how I want to die," Richards said. According to a search warrant obtained by WISN 12 News, police found binder, twine, cable ties, and different kinds of electrical tape in Bartlett's home. He is in jail facing 4 felonies and 42 years in prison if convicted.
Let me see that. Let's take a deeper dive into this here,
42 years in prison.
which is about 50 years too little. This guy.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe this is not his first rodeo?
Have all that stuff at his house? Not even,
Yeah.
it was in his house, right?
What's the definition of a serial rapist? What do they do? Or a serial killer?
Be creepy.
Serial, you're an engineer.
Creepy.
You're an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Serial versus parallel. What's the difference?
Over and over.
Over and over. You go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next,
Yeah.
until
You get
the
stopped.
circuit is open, right?
Right.
That's the way these guys work, you know.
Unlike a circuit, most likely he gets let out. He's probably going to do it again.
Yep.
Jail isn't
Absolutely.
notorious for rehabilitating people very much.
Well, this was in Washington County, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
The first line of this article says, "A woman who fought back."
Mm-hmm. You like that?
What would have happened if she hadn't fought back?
Yeah.
She's raped, tortured, killed, held captive, basically whatever he wanted to do.
It's such a weird question that he asked her before he leaves. "Can I just go?" Like,
Yeah.
as though somehow she's the boss because she threw away his knife. I
Well, she had the knife then. The tables were turned.
turned kinda. I mean, he still is manly outweighing her, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is one thing that I run across a lot with the women in my concealed carry classes.
Okay.
They go out and they really don't believe that they're in any danger. It's like they can't wrap their head around it. Like they're wearing blinders or a blindfold, and they're just saying, yeah, I go out and I walk around. A lot of them are there in my class because their husbands pressured them to be there. I mean, some are there because they had a bad experience. Some are there because they're smarter than the rest, or not quite as naive, for all different kinds of reasons. But bad things happen to good people. That's the way life is.
Sad, but true.
Well, sad, sad but true. And I don't really believe it was the dog. The dog played no part in this whatsoever.
Strange that the dog seems to have played absolutely no part.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of thinking the dog
Well,
would do something.
she got out of her car with her dog, and there was a man in a minivan watching her. Sarah,
Hmm.
if that had been you, would that have given you pause or reason for second thoughts or second guessing? What would have been going through your mind when you see someone watching you at a park with no one else around?
Well, it's been so long since I've been in that situation.
Use your imagination. You have one.
I'm not sure that I would have thought anything of it when I was getting out of the car. Like I would have thought he was just bored and whatever. But the fact that he's still there half an hour later, still watching,
Yeah.
I think that might have, like, if I'd have noticed. But, like, again, I would have been paying attention to the dog, figuring out where I was going, making sure I had all my gear and my car locked up properly. Like, I'm not sure I would have been looking for people staring.
Honey, I think that 22 years ago, when,
I lived in more of a city area.
well, before, I had a chance to train you, okay? Because you're a different person now than you were 22 years ago, just like me,
Yeah.
okay? But 22 years ago, and, even now, the listeners can tell, I'll say something, and then you will try to defend the bad guy or the person that I'm talking about because you always give people the benefit of the doubt. You're looking for a reason to make a person good. Okay, that's just your nature, and I appreciate all of that. But you can't do that with serial rapists and serial killers.
Right. 'Cause
But
they're
the
going
thing
to play
is,
off of that.
yeah, you don't know when, okay, is that guy just sitting in the van? I do that quite a bit, right? I'll sit in my truck
Mhm.
and I'll work on I'll be typing out my novel on my
Right.
computer.
And you're not trying to be creepy to
Yeah, I'm
anybody.
not trying to be creepy or anything like that. But the thing is, you can't take chances. Okay. I mean, the woman had good situational awareness.
Hmm.
Okay. She noticed him, before she went on her walk. And when she came back, she noticed.
But there's really nothing she could do at that point. She had to get to her car either way, right?
Well, yeah, she did. But the thing is, you have to be prepared.
Skip, how do you think she could have done it better?
Well, I think there's probably a lot of things that she could have done. I mean, she had good situational awareness. She was watching the guy, but then when she came back, she turned her back on him. Okay. That's not a good idea, especially if you've got like a spider sense, your spider sense is going off and you're alone, you're secluded.
Hmm.
This guy is a stranger. You don't know him. You don't have to trust every stranger that you run across. People are way too trusting. You can be polite, you can be civil, but you don't have to trust them by turning your back on them, especially in public. So I think what she should have done, she had her dog, she had to get her dog in the car, right?
Hmm.
Take the dog to the passenger side of the car, the side of the whatever side of the car is away from him.
Okay.
Okay. Because there are a lot of advantages of a knife over a gun. What's the magazine capacity on a knife? Unlimited, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Um, it's silent. It's easy to hide.
Hmm.
Okay. They're very inexpensive. They're legal for everyone to own and buy. But the big disadvantage is it's a proximity-based weapon. If they can't touch you, they can't stab you. All right. So distance buys you time, and time buys you options. Okay. So put that vehicle between you and the knife. That's going to give you time to pull out either your pepper spray or your gun or whatever. Even if you're unarmed, he still has to catch you, doesn't he?
Hmm.
You can run around that SUV and make him chase you, and you're screaming bloody murder the whole time. If you've got 911 on speed dial, I mean, you can do that as well. But at least that gives you a fighting chance.
Mhm.
But what I'm telling you is carry a gun. Okay, the pepper spray is good when someone when you're dealing with an unarmed attacker, but with an armed attacker, the pepper spray falls flat.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not as effective. So for you, carry the pepper spray. You know, if a mad dog comes at you, you pepper spray him. Okay, if a mad person comes after you, you pepper spray him. But someone comes after you with a knife, you pull out your gun and you rapid fire center of exposed mass. Okay, but you have to be watching. If you're not watching them, you're not going to see him. Basically, this guy's plan was to run up to her and tackle her, and then do whatever he wanted to. I mean, all that stuff he had in his vehicle or at his home, right? The binder twine and all of that stuff. It was a bad day for that woman. But what was her biggest thing that she did right?
She didn't quit.
She didn't quit. She fought back. She grabbed onto the knife blade. I mean, and really, that's about all she could grab onto,
Mhm.
really. I mean, she got cut, but she saved her life by doing that. And people don't realize that when that happens, if you don't fight back, if you just comply, I mean, there is a time for compliance, but sometimes you can fully comply, and you still die. But you've got to make good choices, good decisions, stay alert. There's that saying, stay alert, stay alive. If we could take me and you and like merge us together, I think we'd have a pretty good, well-rounded person.
You think so?
I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I could be a little more compassionate, maybe, on occasion.
No, God didn't arrange it that way.
No, well,
He just put us side by side
he
instead.
put us together. He put us together. But he is in jail facing 4 felonies and 42 years in prison, if convicted. How can they not convict this guy? I hope they do, but who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Well, hey, but folks, I want to know your opinion. So why don't you shoot me out an email, skipcoriel@hotmail.com, and maybe we'll read your comments on the show. Any final words, Sarah?
Oh, it's a great story. Glad she fought back.
All right.
Okay, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Centershot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com.
All right, folks, I've written 20 plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my self-defense thriller, Stalking Natalie. I think you'll like it. And also, check out the Home Defense Show videos on Rumble.com. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com.
Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!